just quickly before this video starts, it was supposed to upload yesterday. I don't know why it hasn't, but just, yeah, keep in mind while you're watching it that this was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, and yeah, enjoy the video. What's up, guys? I'm feeling generous today, so I'm going to make a second video. It's been a long week, and today was just kind of nice. So obviously, last night I went and watched Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, and then I made a video about it, doing my spoiler-free review, and then after that I was suddenly struck with the realization that it was the 18th, and that was the day that The Defenders dropped on Netflix. So I've spent 12 hours today watching The Defenders, and if you think that's a long time, it is, because it's the entire season. I watched it all in pretty much one sitting, so yeah. It's a really good show. If you've watched like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, then you'll know what it is. If you haven't, it's the team-up show for those four heroes, and it is effectively the Avengers Infinity War of the what I'm going to call the NCU, which is the Netflix version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it has the only character that I could think of actual comic importance that wasn't in the whole Defenders show was the Punisher, and that's because he's getting his own show, his own little spin-off. But it had Daredevil, it had Foggy Nelson, it had Karen Page, and Stick and Elektra, all from Daredevil. It had Jessica Jones and Trish Walker and Jerry Hogarth, who first appeared in Jessica Jones. Had Luke Cage and Misty Knight and Claire Temple from Luke Cage. Claire is like a recurring thread through all of them. She did originally appear in Daredevil, but she has a more prominent role in Luke Cage. And then it had Danny Rand and Colleen Wing from Iron Fist, and then the bad guys were Sigourney Weaver's character. While she's painted as being like the big bad guy that you're supposed to have the big final fight with, she gets killed in the 6th episode. So she almost makes it the whole way through the season, but she gets killed. And to tell you how constitutes an even bigger spoiler than the one that I just gave with no spoiler warning, but it's out now. She dies, which after you watch like the first episode isn't really surprising, but I won't tell you that because that again is spoilers. Just know that it's not surprising that she eventually does die. How she dies is surprising. Why it's not surprising that she dies is a bit of a okay kind of surprise. Other than that, it's just, anyway, said too much. So she's what's known as one of the fingers of the hand. There are 5 of them, obviously, and they were the 5 original people who first founded the hand after they were banished from Kunlun. So they have that's why the hands got a lot to do with Iron Fist. The ninja sect, the Chaste, is kind of what the hand splintered off of. So that's why it has a lot to do with Daredevil, and then Jessica Jones and Luke Cage just kind of get pulled in because of people that they know. and of how things kind of fit in. So there's Alexandra, there's Madame Gao from Daredevil originally, Bakudo from Iron Fist, some guy who only seems to speak in Japanese, that is not Nobu. Nobu was in Daredevil, and he's linked to Nobu, but it's not Nobu. And then there was an African guy named Sawande. Were the 5 fingers of the hand, and by the end of it, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that only one of them makes it out alive. I don't know. I can't really give away anything else, because everything else that I can think of is definitely spoilers, and I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, after I finished watching that, my mum and my dad came back home with my nephew, because they just decided to take him out for the day, which was great. I got to just sit and watch TV by myself, uninterrupted, because everyone else was at work. But when the first part of my family started to come home, my nephew comes and gives me this. I'm not sure how well you can read it. It says "Fabulous Uncle" on the pen, just here. And I apparently earned that through looking after him this last, week or so. Probably longer than that too, but I think particularly in the last week, because whenever my brother recently got a promotion, and so whenever he's at work and I'm not, as I may have said before, babysitting's just become my default in the family. So I earned myself a really cool new pen that I haven't yet opened. It's probably not going to get opened until I desperately need a pen, but it's something that I own now, and that was kind of cool. And then I went out, jumped on the trampoline with my nephew for a little bit, and then I cooked spaghetti bolognese, and it was amazing. There's some left over for lunch tomorrow, and unfortunately I got called in for work, so I'm not going to get any. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to get up when my brother leaves for work himself and just kind of have some for breakfast instead. Maybe not so much the spaghetti, but the mince definitely. Probably on toast. Yeah, that sounds like a definite plan. And then after all of that, I came in, I did some more work on my script. If you looked behind me, there is a Monopoly board and the Game of Life lid on my bed, because both boxes are open at the moment. There is Cluedo underneath the seat that I'm currently sitting on while making this video, and there are cards and stuff spread all out in front of my laptop, while I try to kind of fit in where particular things are going to be. I'm going at the moment game by game. I have a whole list now on my phone of Hasbro games that I said, as I may have said before, doing a script based on Hasbro games. So I now have a full list of all of their games, and I'm going to see if I can slowly collect them all, and then as I get a new one, obviously it will go up on the shelf behind me, and you'll know. But it will also, I'll open it up and I'll flick through all the cards and try to create some kind of a plot line and a synopsis and stuff. Because at the moment I've got kind of the minor details that happen in everything. For a full, I think I've got 20, maybe 21 episodes per season. That may end up becoming 22. I'm unsure of that at the moment, but it may end up being 22 episodes per season. There's 6 seasons that I've got so far to be able to fit everything in, and all but the last 2 episodes, at least 2 episodes per season, have been effectively planned, with their minor details of what happens, and that's only come from Monopoly and Game of Life. I still have to add in Cluedo, which is going to sort of fill in every, I think it's 6th episode, I think is what I've got. Again, I'll have to double check that. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's every 6th episode. Or there's like certain episodes that have, I can't remember exactly, but there is a certain number of episodes, and each one of them will deal with a little bit another part in the investigation. I have to go through at the moment and actually pick what my crime scene will be from Cluedo, and yeah, that's gonna be fun in and of itself, to figure out where it was, who did it, and with what, and then try and figure out some kind of a system for working through it, so that, you know, the investigation can kind of go the whole way through all 6 seasons, which means that it's going to give my police character a constant sort of driving motive through the whole thing, and so that one's done. The game Operation will give my doctor character something to strive towards, and the game Risk gives my Colonel Mustard, whatever he ends up being in the show, gives his character a backstory, as I think Battleships will as well. So as you can see, obviously there's a lot of things coming in together. I am debating whether or not to get like Mousetrap, because it kind of fits in with Colonel Mustard's character being a hunter, and yeah, so, but it's all a work in progress, and if it's something you guys are interested in hearing about, I will definitely keep you guys up to date with it. Otherwise, I will just quietly go about my business as I was before. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. I will probably make another video at some point with the list of board games that are in the list, but if you have a board game that you think could contribute really well to the overall storyline here that I've already started to piece together in my head, then please suggest it down in the comment section. And other than that, guys, keep raising hell.